climate change and its adverse effects, particularly geohazards, the MGB will always be there to assist not only the local government officials, but the whole populace. For any assistance, you may contact our central office stationed at Quezon City or our regional office. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Biledo, for your presentation. We would also like to take this opportunity to thank the MGB for its continued assistance and support. We will now go to our second topic for this afternoon, entitled Poverty Environment Initiative, the Critical Linkage. This topic will be presented by Mr. Renaud Meyer. He has had a very long career with the UN, starting as a program officer of the UNDP in Lebanon. He has also been assigned to UNDP offices in New York and China. And one of the projects initiated once he was assigned here to the Philippines was the Poverty Environment Initiative, or PPEI, which we will hear about this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Country Director of UNDP Philippines, Mr. Renaud Meyer.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. It's very nice to actually follow our MGB colleagues who's been presenting something that actually is coming out of a partnership that we have, UNDP, funded by the government of Australia, the READY project, that at some point you saw the little logo in the yellow triangle, and it's great to see the total ownership of MGB of this program and the contribution that it has to a safer environment for populations and local communities that, of course, climate change is just making worse. But this afternoon, I was not invited to talk about the program that we do on climate change or on disaster risk reduction, but on a bit of a more substantive, or I should say broader perspective on the importance of looking at environmental concerns from a poverty perspective. And this is a bit the bread and butter of UNDP here in the Philippines. I'd like to first, of course, thank the Chambers of Mine to inviting UNDP to address this body. I recall a few years ago, I was invited already to come and talk to you. And I have to say that the landscape, when in terms of mining, has considerably changed in the country, and in my view, to the better. And I'm glad to see that there's now a full session on governance, recognizing the importance of this topic when talking about mining. We have a long history of partnership with the government, but we also have a long history of maybe a bit more complex relationships with the NGO sector. And 4 years ago, when I arrived in the Philippines, all the NGOs were keen on knowing what was the personal position of the new country director of UNDP when it touched mining in the Philippines. And I very quickly understood that this was a very sensitive issue to a lot of the NGO sectors and to a lot of the LGU officials also. And when looking at the governance landscape, it was very difficult to get a hint of where this was going. And I think with the effort of many, the industry, the civil society sector, the LGUs, the government, I think we've done a long way. This afternoon, I'll be presenting to you a new initiative that UNDP has been launching last year in the Philippines. It's an international program, actually, combining the efforts of two UN agencies, UNDP, United Nations Development Program, and UNEP, the United Nations Environmental Program, on linkages between poverty and the environment. But let me first contextualize a little bit the, where do I have to click this way? There we go. Just to contextualize a little bit the program and looking at the global landscape. Obviously, a lot of you are aware of the 8 Millennium Development Goals. The time frame for these is 2015, so very little time left, and still a lot of work to do in the Philippines. Based on government last report on the MDGs, 7 out of the 8 goals are for the moment not on track to be met. So we still have a long way to go and very little time left. Obviously, the issue of poverty and inequality not a privilege of the Philippines, but a situation that we see in many, many countries, including middle-income countries like the Philippines, where the challenge is not to produce growth in the economy, that we're capable